passes are Dak's fault.
Yeah, those are not on anybody else.
And those are not created equal because those are
the Jags one. Yeah,
those are like
it's a pick six.
Legitimately scoring points for the other team.
Dak is ass, right? Can I say on TV? Because he is ass.
You can say whatever you want on TV.
Okay, that's one thing. This is the second game that he's just lost by throwing picks. He threw 2 picks to the Packers, right? Had 14-point lead, lost, come back. They was up 17. My man, 17 and lost, picks. That first one, that pass he threw, the second one, not the first. The first one was terrible. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
That was awful. Like, where was he throwing that ball to? Dak Prescott has the easiest job and the second easiest job, right? The first I go to Purdy and Jimmy G with the Niners.
Yep.
Great defense, right? Run the ball very well, make safe passes. Dak has the easiest job in football. The picks he throwing, those are even not like, he's not even trying to like fit the ball through the needles or the small little windows. These are like easy passes. They run the ball well. What else can you do? I'm paying you $160 million.
I am going to lessen my interception numbers. That is a guaranteed. But we're trying to gain chemistry here. We're trying to be aggressive. As I said, that's who our coach is, and so and that's who I am. That's the confidence I've gained in myself, and I've worked so hard to be able to have this confidence and be able to make the throws that I'm making. If it continues every day, come back to me, and yeah, it might change my mood a little bit.
They had the plan. So look, I mean, since that 49er loss, which seems like a long time ago now, is there anybody in the league playing quarterback better than Dak Prescott at the moment?
I think it's fair to say Dallas is the hottest team in the NFL. Dak Prescott is the hottest quarterback in the NFL, and they are the clear-cut third best team in the NFC. I mean, it was a really strong performance again, and this is, to Graz's point, a stretch of 4 or 5 straight games where they're clicking. And I think offensively, the thing that you have to love that's really started to show itself ever since that San Francisco game is they are tying plays together offensively. This isn't one of those offenses that just nowadays is just lining up and running plays. They're showing you one thing, and then later on in the game, they're going back to that, but doing a different thing. And then later on in the game, going back to that, but doing a third option. There's so many counter punches to this offense right now, and it's absolutely led by Dak Prescott. So this is a very strong performance again by Dallas, and again, solidifying this is the third best team in the NFC.
Yeah, Dak Prescott is playing like the best quarterback in the National Football League over the last 6 weeks. He's 5-1. 70% of his passes are completed, over 1,800 yards, 20 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He's played incredible. Now, that stretch has been very advantageous for him as a quarterback. What they're doing offensively is Mike McCarthy is trusting Dak Prescott. Earlier this season, it seemed like he was trying to run that new West Coast offense in a way that just mitigated risks and turnovers, and it wasn't the best version of him. Dan went on national TV and all but begged them to get CeeDee Lamb involved, and they've done that in a big way. It's no longer deke and dunk. They've picked their spots very much like they picked their celebration points, and now their offense is rolling. Now, the biggest test will be down the stretch. They play 5 really good teams, winning football teams, and as always, that's how we'll determine how good the Dallas Cowboys are.
Let's focus on Dak. The biggest,
right?
Biggest change, or one of the big changes is, Hawk mentioned getting the ball to CeeDee Lamb is a focal point of their pass game. But we've all talked about the legs and the advancement of that this season. I think the bigger part is not only the legs, but keeping his eyes downfield when he's using his legs. He goes to escape out the left side of his pocket. You see him go 2 or 3 times, like to go throw, nothing is there. Now 2nd and 10. This is a great job of, okay, I want to go pull the trigger. It's not there. Reset. Eyes are downfield. He's not running just to go get 3 or 4 yards. It does seem that Dak is back to trying to go create with some of his leg usage. This time, Clyde's out the front side of the left of the pocket. Eyes are downfield. This is an explosive pass play. There's not many examples in the NFL of explosive pass plays from like quarterbacks just going to be creative. These last 2 clips are Dak evading the rush, keeping his eyes downfield, and there's 50-plus yards in their pass game right there. So I do love
the Cowboys offense has been rolling at a borderline historic level over the last 3 weeks. And I'll say it with my chest. If a quarterback wins the MVP this season, it should be Dak Prescott. Since the ankle injury, I think this is the best football he's played in the last couple of years. Yeah. And I think he's extending plays better. The explosives are back in the way they hadn't been at the start of the season. And I think this is a really weird year for quarterback play because the Eagles offense hasn't been quite, I mean, even though it's been awesome, Jalen Hurts isn't putting up quite the dominant numbers he was last year. Patrick Mahomes is having, by his standards, a down statistical season. Josh Allen has turned the ball over too much. Joe Burrow is out for the season. And so it leaves the window open for someone in the Dak tier to win the MVP, and he is playing better football than any of the other quarterbacks.
I think Dak's playing great, but I don't think I don't believe there's anything innate about Dak Prescott that is better now than was a month ago. And I think you can get this hot streak from him. And I think that's the exciting thing, because for the Cowboys, and I'm going to say this, and it's not a good thing to put in the same sentence, but I'm going to, if the Cowboys want to win a Super Bowl, they need this Dak Prescott for a month. And I don't know if I've seen a better Dak Prescott for a month, and I don't know that I don't think he's developed some skill that he didn't have previously, but I think just knowing he has this in his locker for a month of football against not all bad football teams, some mediocre football teams, some good ones as well, knowing he can do this for 4 or 5 games is really exciting if you're a Cowboys fan. Even if you don't think it's anything new, just knowing he can do this is, I think, a game changer for the Cowboys.
Dak has 17 touchdowns and 2 interceptions since his bye week. He's had 3-4 touchdown games. Like, the question is interesting the way you frame it, Bill. Has something materially changed with Dak Prescott? And the answer to that is probably no. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's not playing better than he ever has.
No, of course not.
And that's what I think is interesting about him, because I do think he's playing at a level as high as any quarterback in the NFL, which I would not have said about Dak previously.
And it's not like you look at the Cowboys and think, okay, they have this glaring, obvious weakness that other teams are going to be able to exploit. Like with the Lions, for example. If you can slow down Amon-Ra St. Brown, you're going to give them trouble. The Cowboys have multiple talented receivers. Of course, CeeDee Lamb's playing out of his mind, but they have other guys who can be difference makers in the receiving game. Tony Pollard has not been a great runner this year, but they have the offensive line to run the football effectively. They can protect that and have throughout this season. Like they